talking about customer communications, talking about the new generations, talking about this beautiful world that we are living on, even though, in this COVID-19 times, I would like to looking at this, there is a key concept here, is the customer journeys for the new generations. Okay, let's talk about customers, right, as a whole, right? The first point we need to make is, a business exists to create and keep customers. This is the only truth for businesses, okay? This is not mine. This is Peter Drucker's thinking, right, around why business exists, right? That's the key element. Keep and create customers. Okay, so let's have a look at who are we. Forget about your jobs, forget about your what you are doing here. Think about yourselves as people, fathers, mothers, brothers, you are persons living in this world. So who are we? We are part of some of those, either of those four generations, right? So baby boomers, as you see, there is a difference probably between 15 years each generations. Baby boomers, Generation X, millennials, and Generation Z, right? So probably you will be able to position yourself in either of those, okay? So let's have a look at Generation Z, which is, my children are part of Generation Z. This is the most interesting generation, right? Because just a very key point, they decide, they actually buy things, you pay, right? So if you look at the top right, 96% of Gen Z owns a smartphone, right? 60% of Gen Z will not use an app or website if it is too slow to load, right? And 74% average percentage of Gen Z's time spent online. So this generation is your future customer, or actually is the current customer, is beginning to become the current customer, right? So we need to pay a lot of attention to this generation and the way they behave, the way they live, the way they buy, okay? So with that in mind, let's see the next great point that we need to fully understand in order to, define a great customer journey, right? And why we are going to define those great customer journeys. So we have seen the generations. We are part of some of those generations. Now let's have a look at our world, the world we live in today. The world we live today is SMAC world, social, mobile, analytics, and cloud. And this is extremely important because have a look at the things. This is, could sound too generic. However, look at social. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, Snapchat, LinkedIn. So I'm pretty sure that most, if not all of you have an account at least in 3 or 4 of those social medias. And actually, I'm pretty sure that probably you have accounts in each and every of them, which is the normal, right? Next one, mobile. Mobile is not just smartphone. It's not just this device. It's smartphones, tablets, wearables, GPS devices, gaming consoles, home assistants. All those things are mobile devices, right? Next point, analytics. Analytics is not only data analytics. It is robotics, process automation, machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence. All was born with data, managing immense amounts of data in order to learn out of that data collected by using mobile devices, just to give you an example. So at the end of the day, everything is connected. Last but not least, cloud. Cloud is for storage, infrastructure, computing, applications, whatever as a service, right? And blockchain. Probably you will be familiar with the Bitcoin and these cryptocurrencies, right? Actually, blockchain is the technology underpinning that cryptocurrencies. Okay, so with this in mind, we have seen, the generations living in the planet right now, the world we live in, SMAC world, and now let's go to the next stage. We, the consumers, what do we expect? Okay, what do we expect is simple. We expect unique, personalized micro experiences. When we are buying something, we want to enjoy the experience, right? We want to get a good time buying things, products or services. And obviously, we want to do it by ourselves. Let's look at, for instance, Amazon. You can spend hours, surfing the Amazon webpage, finding products, finding goods, and actually it's a good way to spend some good time enjoying the purchasing experience. So self-service is something that in particular Generation Z really values. So we have micro experiences, self-service, what else? Error-free. We don't like errors. We don't like things that work slowly. We don't like things that actually fail, right? So we want, error-free processes. And we want things easy. If there are problems, we want to get them solved fast and easy. So those are the four big trends or requests on our side as consumers. Micro experiences, self-service, error-free, easy to work with, okay? So, now we as consumers on one side of the table, what happens on the other side of the table? How do companies react to these generations, these new purchasing and buying behaviors, and this SMAC world where everything is driven by, as we said, social, mobile, analytics, and cloud. Okay, how do companies react? Companies react, with digital transformation. It's something that we have heard millions of times, oh yeah, let's do it. Digital transformation as the panacea, something that will fix each and every problem in companies. But there's something interesting here. Let me ask you all a question. Do you believe that companies would have changed voluntarily? So is digital transformation something that they do in order to serve us better, faster, probably cheaper in some cases, right? Do they change voluntarily? The answer clearly is no, not at all, right? Why? Because, digital transformation is expensive, digital transformation is slow, digital transformation is tedious, is dangerous, and the worst thing above all, results are not guaranteed. So companies are, in a very difficult position in order to address and catch up with the market trends, with our trends and as consumers, and with the world actually, which is driven by brand new forces completely, out of any manual or any, plan that they could have been doing before, right? So with this in mind, we, the consumers, have forced companies to change. And this change is not a voluntary move. So this shows the power that we as consumers have, right? We have the power to make companies change. We have the power to choose the products we want to buy. We have the power to not choose other products or services. And actually, we will have, all of us have seen examples of companies that has been screwed by consumers because of bad policy, because of a bad comment coming from the CEO, because of things that we don't like. We can literally kill a company, right? By stopping buying things. Simple as that. So, let's stop here for a minute. So we do know now the power we have as consumers, but let's have a look at companies, right? So forced to change, what can companies do then, right? What's the natural reaction? And now let's change our hats. So now we are consumers, but obviously at the same time we are workers or owners or entrepreneurs trying to get our business out of this mess, and trying to get our business growing. Okay, so the point is, what can we do, from a corporate or business point of view? And the key point here is, please keep those statements in mind. Strategy without tactics is the lowest route to victory, right? Tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. Why I'm using Sun Tzu's quote here? The point is, digital transformation is currently or very frequently associated to technology only, right? So we need to buy, data analytics software. We do need to buy a marketing hub. We do need to buy whatever, right? Those are tactics. The first thing to do is to have a crystal clear strategy. Why am I here? Why I need to evolve? What are the key trends that I need to address in order to respond to that new normal, the new reality that we live in, right? So don't get lost in tactics. First of all, coin a great strategy that actually will bring tactics probably in an automatic way, okay? So with that said, let's have a look at how we can develop a great strategy following this simple framework. So OSTL, objectives, strategy, tactics, and logistics, right? So this is a very pragmatic approach. So you will get some good insights in order to apply this in the real world, okay? So the first point is, the objective is transform customer experience, to increment the client lifetime value. Two definitions here. First one, customer experience, is the overall perception customers have of their interactions with your organization over the course of the relationship. So this is a long-term relationship. The customer experience is defined by a number of interactions that happen across that lifetime, right? The second point, client lifetime value, very simple. The value a customer contributes to your business over the entire lifetime at your company. So please keep those two things in mind because, as companies have realized the power we, the consumers, have, right? It is absolutely mandatory to provide great customer experience, to keep us happy and working with them, buying products, buying services, etc. Okay, so next stage. Once that we have already acknowledged the importance, the power of the customer experience, the strategy to provide a great customer experience is to redesign customer journeys, to establish a dialogue with customers, right? It's something that we need to do in order to fully understand what the customers want, what the customers are asking for, right? And this is probably the best summary of the whole presentation. This is a customer journey, a lot of information here. So there are up to 3 things here that we need to look at. The first one is, the stages across the customer journey. So there are 4 stages: acquire, onboard, serve, and grow. All of us as consumers go through those 4 stages in every single case when we buy something, right? We think about, I want to buy a new smartphone. So first of all, I think about, the providers, the technologies available, right? I make a choice and I buy the product. There is an onboarding process. When I get the product, I sign a contract with, let's say, Vodafone or O2 or any other company, right? And then I get into the next stage, which is the serve phase. So I begin to use the product, to enjoy the product or suffer the product, depending on the quality of the service I get. And then there is the last stage, and probably could be the first one of a new iteration within this virtual circle, is the grow stage. If I am happy, if I am good with the service or the product I have purchased, I will buy more. Thinking about, Apple users. Apple is probably, the king of the brand management. They keep customers very happy, willing to buy more products, even though, could be other products, cheaper products in the market. But, Apple customers are extremely loyal because they have managed in a flawless way, the whole customer journey. So that's the first point. Second point you can find here that we will see in the following slides is the collection of physical and digital touch points that happen at each of those customer life cycle stages, if you like, or customer journey stages, right? So one touch point could be just an email. That's a digital touch point. Another touch point could be a print letter that I get in my inbox, right? Those are equally valid and valuable, right? Depending on the stage, right? So I would say the wisdom, combining digital and physical touch points actually define the overall customer experience. We will see it in a minute. Please keep this in mind. Customer journey, collection of stages, and touch points happening across those different stages. So to redesign the customer journey or redesign customer journeys to establish that dialogue between companies and customers actually require four things, right? First of all, you need to know your customers. Second point, you have to develop experiences according to those customers because it's not the same. Think about the generations we saw a few slides back, right? It's not the same communicating things to Generation Z than communicating things to baby boomers. Probably the messages are different, channels are different, and the art of communications is wisely choose the right touch points, the right channels in order to share that information and establish that communication with them. Then once the experiences have been developed, right, obviously they need to be executed. We need to bring those experiences to life. In other words, we need to create a multi-channel communication framework, or machine, if you like, engine, a multi-channel communication engine to connect with customers through either physical channels or digital channels. And last but not least, we need to monitor success. So actually, we need to make sure that the experiences that we have designed really worked, right? So next point is, so the digital transformation of those customer journeys create micro experiences, right? So transform physical digital touch points into micro experiences. It's something that we actually requested time ago. We have seen digital touch points and physical touch points. Physical touch points, again, print communications is a great example of that, right? And one more thing that we need to look at is if we want to transform physical and digital touch points into micro experiences, we need to look at three things. Customer journeys that we have already reviewed, brand touch points happening across the lifetime or the customer journey, and the two environments that we have seen. The environments actually are the physical environment and the digital environment. Dynamics, as you may imagine, are different in one and the other. But basically, physical environment, print communications, large format, signage in the streets, digital environment, emails, web page, push notifications through mobile devices, etc. Everything is there. Okay, Last but not least, and this is probably the holy grail of the whole thing, right? This is where, I will open Pandora's box to let you know how to do it. At the top, trends. We want micro experiences. We want self-service. We want error-free. And we want, as consumers, we want easy things, right? Keep in mind the framework at the bottom: build, measure, learn, right? Okay, so what we do here is basically combine the strategy, know your customers, develop experiences, bring experiences to life, and monitor success, right? With the three things we need to create new customer journeys and better interactions between us and our customers. So we have customer journeys, brand touch points, and environment. So we are creating a matrix, and let's see how we populate that matrix in order to bring those micro experiences to life and provide great customer experiences. So the things we need, first of all, data analytics. We do need massive amount of data in order to understand, to really know our customers. Second thing we need in order to develop those experiences across customer journeys, brand touch points, and environment, we need to map customer journeys. Customer journeys are not just one thing, one customer journey. You can have a customer journey for onboarding, for serve, for grow, for exit, inclusive. Maybe if you are losing clients, you can design a customer journey in order to try to recover them, right? So customer journey mapping is the way to visually create the customer journey in order to fully understand how many touch points, when those touch points happen, the digital or physical environment those touch points will take place, etc. That happens in that stage. Next step, bring experiences to life. This probably is the most important one. Bring things to life. Get things in flight. Otherwise, it will be just a beautiful PowerPoint, a beautiful spreadsheet, something that will mean nothing at all. So the multi-channel execution, digital execution, print channel execution, those things combined are extremely powerful. We hear that, the print volumes are declining because everything is being moved into the digital world. It's not true. Multi-channel execution means an orchestration of each and every channel because they are equally important. Actually, just to give you an example, print channel is being used as premium communication channel, right, for high-end client segments. That's a very interesting point to keep in mind. Last, not least, how we monitor success. One of the most effective metrics is Net Promoter Score, right? So would you recommend to family, to relatives, friends, a product or a service? Actually, the question is very interesting because there are two questions in one. You are being asked about your own opinion about a product and the degree of confidence that you have in that product or service to recommend it to near people close to you. So that's the best one. So again, this is high level. I know it's a high level, but this is probably, the framework that you need to look at to create great customer experience, to keep and make new customers, right? What you see at the bottom is this is a very dynamic process. You can't, carve things in stone. You need to try, test, retry, retest, etc., because this is an extremely dynamic world, right? So keep trying, build, measure, learn. Takeaways. I'm sorry because I think I'm a bit late. So very quickly, takeaways. The first one, of course, is, as I said at the beginning, business exists to create and keep customers, undisputable truth. Keep in mind that. Second point, the right strategy is not cost reduction. The right strategy is not great products because I think it's a great product. The right strategy is what the customer wants. As simple as that. That's the right strategy. Our customers deserve best experiences, right? Unparalleled experiences. We as consumers will not accept average or even poor experiences at all, right? Unparalleled experiences create and keep customers. That's the secret recipe. Great experiences create and keep customers. And the most important one, over time, customers will become advocates. They will recommend your products. They will recommend your services. They will be evangelists, your people, your sales reps. They will be the best representatives of your company. And that's it. Thank you very much. And again, sorry for the technical issues at the beginning of the presentation.